Well, welcome to Bourbon Writers, and it is Wheat Week. And this is our first in a two-part series for Wheat Week on our first pour. Now, both our first pours are going to be wheat-related, and by no doubt, we're starting off with Woodford Wheated Whiskey. Now, this is a Kentucky Straight wheat whiskey. It is batch number 218, bottle number 1914. I didn't realize that Woodford did that kind of labeling or documentation on it. This is basically 90.4 proof, and it is a wheated whiskey, not a wheated bourbon. On Wheat Week, we're doing everything wheat, so wheated whiskeys count. And the Woodford was something that I'd seen for a while and wanted to try it, and after I bought it, and I thought, let's save it for Wheat Week. So, in our first pour of the week, we're doing the Woodford. On the next first pour, I believe we're doing, the Redemption wheated bourbon. And we'll talk about that later. So, this is a Woodford product. It's a 750 milliliter bottle. It's that typical, almost tombstone shaped bottle. I don't know why I call it tombstone, but it just kind of reminds me of that. It's a very thin bottle, very wide. It takes up a lot of room on your shelf. But I thoroughly enjoy the standard Woodford Reserve bourbon, so I thought I've got to try their wheated since I'm a big wheater, and it is Wheat Week, right? So, what do we know about the Woodford Wheat Whiskey? It says it's based on historical recipes, but influenced by the iconic core Woodford Reserve bourbon brand. And I'm reading from their website, woodfordreserve.com. It does give the mash bill here. It says it's 52% wheat, followed by 20% malt, 20% corn, and 8% rye. Now, they could have left the rye out of there, but it is a small amount, and the wheat is dominant. So I really don't know what to expect, because I'm used to bourbons. I'm used to sour mash whiskeys like Jack Daniels. I don't know I've ever had just a wheat whiskey. So I was really looking forward to this. So and we'll talk about the tasting notes in a minute. But first off, we got to see what that cork pops like. Well, it's a whiskey, so it's got to have pop, right? That's a pretty nice pop, even for a wheater. Wow, it is different smelling. Not your typical bourbon. Well, it's not a bourbon, right, Mike? It's not a bourbon. So, I always find these bottles a little bit hard to handle because they're so wide, so maybe by the side like that. I didn't get that chugging, but I was scared I was going to pour it and it'd go right that way. It'd be a waste of wheat whiskey. But it's a nice looking bottle. Of course, all the Woodford stuff is very elegant looking. Seems to have a nice color in the bottle, so let's put it over here. And Woodford has a lot of varieties. It's one of the reasons I put that as being one of the 5 bourbons you should start with in your bourbon collection. Because if you like the Woodford, the standard bourbon, you can go to the wheat. They've got a malted variety. They've got a rye variety. I mean, it seems like they've got a lot of different versions of the Woodford product. So that was one of the reasons in our video on that, if you haven't seen it, go to our channel, why I recommended it, because you like the flavor, chances are you'll like some of the others. So let's see what kind of color a wheated whiskey has. Well, surprise, it looks just like a bourbon. Yeah, in fact, it's a little bit darker than I expected it to be. Nice amber color. Very nice. Well, I know it smelled different coming out of the bottle. Out of our Glencairn glass, I guarantee it's going to smell even better. And that's the reason a lot of people like this glass, is because it concentrates the aroma coming out through this kind of tulip shaped. Trust me, they work. Very sweet. You get the sweet wheat aroma that you get off a wheated bourbon, but I don't get any oak at all. Sweet wheat, molasses brown sugar. Don't really pick up any fruit of any. I'm sure there's something in there, but it's not prevalent. So sweet wheat, molasses brown sugar, very nice. On our Rickhouse scale of 1 to 5, it's about a 3.5 for aroma. Pretty good. All right, well, can't wait any longer. Cheers. That is definitely different. You taste it and you're going like, that's not a bourbon. It's good. I mean, it's a whiskey. It tastes like whiskey. But without the bite you get out of a lot of non-bourbon whiskeys that seem to be real high in rye or something else that they... this is very, very mellow. Very smooth. And I probably use smooth more than I should, but it's smooth. I'm a weeded guy. I like smooth, and this is very smooth. It's probably smoother than most of my weeded bourbons. A little bit of a Kentucky hug going on there. What do I taste? I taste pretty much what I smelled. I get a kind of sweet molasses, brown sugar, a wheat taste to it. A frosted Pop-Tart without the fruit. There you go. This is a frosted Pop-Tart without the fruit filling. Let's try it again. Second sip, I picked up a little bit of proof on the first, and that's because it was my first bourbon of the day. The second sip, I definitely pick up the baking spices, and it's nice. It's not hot. It's not too peppery. I say mild nutmeg and cloves. Maybe some cinnamon in there. Definitely some cinnamon there now that I think about it. It's good, and it's sweet. But really, little, if any, fruit to it. This is a brown sugar bourbon without the bourbon. So, maybe I should restate that. This is a brown sugar wheated whiskey. Let's go for a third sip. It's very interesting. Definitely brown sugar, maybe a little vanilla going on there, definitely some cinnamon. Sweeter than I expected. This would be an excellent daily sipper. It really would. And I think it was like mid-30s. Pay for it. I'll find the receipt and I'll list it below what we paid for it. I like doing that so people know in my area, North Georgia, what they should expect to pay for it. But I believe it was probably $34, $35. I know it was definitely under 40. The finish. The baking spices on the back end, definitely. Really no pepper. The sweetness lingers. Not real long, but enough along with the baking spice that, yeah, you like it. Frosted Pop-Tart without any fruit. So what does the... Normally I read about this ahead of time, but I was so anxious to taste this, I just bypassed the website altogether. Like, oh, I don't care. I want to taste it. What's it say about the taste? Spicy applesauce and toasted coconut notes enliven an earthy mint and cocoa nib mix. I don't get any of that. Spicy applesauce? Well, the spice, yeah, the baking spices. Toasted coconut? I'm sorry, I don't get any coconut. I'm a big fan of Mounds bars, so I know what coconut should taste like, especially when it's around chocolate. So they talk about earthy mint and cocoa nib mix. Now, I don't know what a cocoa nib mix is, so you can enlighten me in the comments. But I'm just saying this is a very pleasant brown sugar, vanilla, cinnamon, almost like when you go to a bakery and you get those cinnamon spins fresh out of the bakery, still warm. Even better than a Pop-Tart, right? You get that wheat, you get that sweetness from the sugar, you get the cinnamon. That's what that reminds me of. A pastry, a cinnamon pastry. So let's say about the finish. Dry, subtle cocoa nibs and lingering apple peel. I must have something wrong with my palate. I don't taste any cocoa. Now the apple peel could be part of the sweetness that I'm tasting. There really isn't any fruit that I can tell of in the finish, even though they say lingering apple peel. To me, it's what's left over from that cinnamon roll. Interesting. Well, it just goes to show you that one person's idea of what a tasting note is may not be your experience. I still like it. This is good. I will definitely drain the bottle. That doesn't sound right, does it? I will definitely drink what is in this fine glass configuration. I do like their bottles. They're unique. If you like wheated bourbon, I think this is worth a try. If you like Woodford, I would definitely recommend this. It's got that Woodford profile, but in a much more mellow, much more smooth whiskey. So we hope you enjoy this video, and we really hope that you're enjoying Wheat Week. This is just one of many videos that are popping out this week, and you'll see them all over the place. I think the last count, I had 11 or 12 videos planned for Wheat Week, and who knows by the time it ends. We're right in the middle of this, so we're producing. We're going to get as much content out there as we can, so you weeders who've been neglected for so long will no longer be neglected. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and we'll see you next time.